A warm welcome to a fresh edition of Your Image. My name is Dari Folari. Today we are looking at a very topical issue, the issue of state police. What are the public relations deliverables? What are the expectations of citizens? To unpack this topic with me, I have with me a public relations expert, Mr. Bukola Akinrinde. Buki, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Also with us is the public affairs analyst, Mr. Nicholas Iwuchukwu. Nicholas, you're welcome to Your Image.
Thank you, Dari Folari. It's nice being here.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's start off this way. In public relations, we always talk about branding. And branding has to do with the name, the logo, the color, the look and feel of an organization. This state police that we're talking about, you know, the colonial masters, when they gave us what we used to call the Nigerian police force.
Yes.
But it's been recommended that rather than a force, it should be a service. As a public relations expert, what do you have to say about this? What's in the name, you may say?
Well, thank you for the question. The public, the state police is being created so that we can have community policing, so that the security at the grassroots can be formidable, so that the people at the local settings can be part and parcel of maintaining security and law and order in their community. As regarding to the question, the word Nigerian Police Force and the word Nigerian Police Service. There's a kind of philosophical, idea, because the word force implies using power to arrest people and imprison them. While the word service is talking about providing a kind of utility for the betterment of the people. Not that whenever anybody is be accused of anything, the person will just be charged to court, in prison. Well, look at the advanced country, a country like India, Germany, the way they are having their police service, very, very inhumane nature. They will, they will arrest you with courtesy. Please, can you do this?
Right.
So, and it gives people a kind of, a kind of sense of belonging.
Okay.
As against using Nigerian police force.
Okay.
So,
thank you very much. Nicholas, your first thoughts generally.
I'll be very clear and straightforward.
Right.
Semantics is a very interesting topic in linguistics.
Right.
When you look at the 1700s, in the history of the creation of the police, the first police force on earth was in the North Carolina in US about the 1700s.
Okay.
And the aim was to try and get back slaves who were running from slave masters. So every historian knows this.
Right.
And whether from India or from US or in Germany, we know the police, even for law-abiding citizens, almost instigates fear and anxiety.
Right.
Unless you know your rights and you are cultured and you know you're not a criminal.
Right.
George Floyd, we all remember that picture when he was held down by Derek, that American policeman, who even had the time to pocket his hand in his pocket.
Absolutely.
And press his knee on George Floyd's neck and was saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So let us be clear, from the native police in Nigeria or the native authorities in the East, the idea of the police was to try and control
crime and criminality.
At the same time, to help the colonial masters to make things easier.
Okay.
But with the word service, just the way you use corrections for the prisons, we hope it will really simmer down and cascade from the IGP to the corporal.
Okay.
You understand? But basically, policing is about control.
It's about
ideally, whether you're in the military, in the Oyo Empire, or in a democracy.
Yeah, it's about control, but the control can be done with a human face, and this is why we are talking about. We have the challenges that we currently face, and then what are the other advantages of state police, Buki?
Advantages of state police, there are many, and we thank God that at this point in time, the state is about embracing it. This idea of state policing has been on for a very long time. At the state police, but now that government has deemed it fit to pass it into law. The advantages inherent, there are many. Like now, if I know that in this community we have a set of people who are regarded as the community police or state police, they are within us. We know them, we know ourselves.
They are our people.
They are our people. So the idea of this bureaucratic bottlenecks, like if incident happens, they need another from Abuja, will not be there. In case of kidnapping, in case of banditry, the governor of a state or the commissioner of that or whoever will quickly give an order that will prompt the police to move to an action.
Okay.
Then another important is job creation.
Job creation.
We are talking about unemployment.
Right.
Look at the population of Nigeria, and it itself another avenue for people to get more employed and to have a sense of responsibility.
Okay, Nicholas, are you happy with this state police, or do you have reservations?
Yeah, I have reservations. I must be clear.
What are these reservations?
Yeah. If you remember the OAU massacre in 1999, everybody who handled that case, from the police to the magistrates to the journalists, were all based in Ife. Professor Wale Omole closed down the school. Then there were no phones, so the students had left the campus. So when they went to the courts, there were no witnesses because the students had gone for holidays. So state policing is like soccer tactics. It depends on the players.
Okay.
But I agree with him. There was an old saying in Texas, only Texans rob Texan banks. But in a federal state, the people need to feel federal.
Right.
Imagine a boy who is from the north.
We're speaking about the hybrid now. They are still the federal police. They are the state police.
Exactly.
Hybrid.
But democracy is about trying to maximize the good qualities of every citizen.
Right.
Imagine an Igbo boy, a Kanuri boy that grew up in Agowe, primary school, secondary school, first degree, MSc, masters, and joins the police. And an Agowe boy who was born in London, in Abuja. Who do you think understand that?
The one who was born in
Exactly.
That's the beauty of state police.
So, with intelligence, I'm talking of the boy who was born there, who was not a Yoruba boy.
Okay.
The Igbo boy who was born there, or the Kanuri boy, who grew up in Agowe, maybe the son of a professor.
Okay, in view of the challenges that we are currently facing, don't you think this state police will help?
Definitely. I am not in doubt about the state police helping. But let us not forget that we have had the native authorities in the 50s, where these governors used it to carry out vendettas against political enemies.
There will be guardrails.
So we need to have a control, monitoring, and the people trying to make sure that we get the finest into, because the errors in a pepper soup joint where you can take Bokoto and Asu is different from the error for a man handling a gun, for a man giving that command.
Absolutely.
Who is
we'll talk about the recruitment. But Buki, let's talk about some of the advantages. He referenced what are these fears? Should people have fears about state police?
Well, people must have a kind of fear because of the experience, like he said, political manipulation. That is the major fear everybody is talking about. In a situation whereby the sitting governor is using the police, the state police, to harass the opponents.
But there's the rule of law.
Let me learn. There's some situation whereby it can happen. You know the kind of politics we play in this client, Africa, Nigeria as a whole. The governor can turn the state police into a militia group. Before you know it, they will be dancing to the tunes of the governor. The public service will be neglected. We can't rule that fear. We can't rule it out, except a very strong legislation is being put in place that will forbid such. So I doubt it if it will not happen.
Recently at a forum, a former deputy governor suggested that the immunity clause should be removed for governors. That if this is done, it will help, safeguard state police. Do you share his idea?
Ganifayemi spends every day of his life trying to remove that clause. I share his idea. No one man should be so powerful. Only God should have that power. No matter how tall we are, the law should be taller.
Yeah, that's true.
And, and that a lot of people have hidden under that immunity to commit impunity. I know that view. I don't need the view of the deputy governor. I'm aware of that view because Gani Fahimi told us long before she passed away.
Okay, let's look at recruitment. Because the recruitment too matters. If you recruit university graduates, people who have the fear of God, don't you think that if the right personnel are recruited into state police, we will have a good service?
Yes, we can.
Let's hear your views.
Through the help of public relations.
Okay.
Because public relations is very, very, very important in our daily life. It guides, it teaches, it's the tonic, it's the pill for better society. Wherever that area is lacking, we might not get it right. But employing graduates, those that are well knowledgeable in the area of how to take care of the citizen, which that will lead to establishment of a viable public relations department.
Right.
For us to get it right, I want to propose, if you have a very viable public relations department, manned by qualified personnel, you get it right in terms of recruitment.
Okay. Let's look at you spoke about viable PR department. We've had the federal police now currently has very seasoned PR persons, lawyers in the public relations department. Don't you think that this is a radical shift from the past, with professionals now manning the image of the police?
I know you know Chris Olakbe. I know you know when Radio Lagos was having a jingle, make una call police, or make una call police.
Right.
So some of these are not new. But when you have the competent people in the right place, they will know what to do. It's as simple as that. If you watch 300, when Leonidas was at that war, he told one of his men who had already suffered an injury, but was eager to still be at the battlefield. He said, no, you go back to Greece and tell them what happened here. So PR has always been vital. PR is vital. The way people, spoken words are powerful. People can connect to people for a change or transformation through words. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Let my people go. What is to Pharaoh?
Words are very, very powerful.
PR is vital. But who is handling the PR? Who is transferring the officer? Who is making that vital decision at that final moment?
Okay.
Also matters.
Okay. The bill is being proposed now. So do you think that there should be a public hearing at the state level? Because 24 states must pass this bill before it becomes a law.
Of course. I quite agree that there must be a public hearing, because the essence of that is for us to juxtapose, for us to see, for us to deliberate more on it, so that we can have a very viable, because if there's no public hearing, there are some other issues, there are some inherent dangers will not be extracted, so that people will see and they will know that this state police is coming, is their own, so that they can embrace it.
Own it.
They can own it. So it's very, very important we have this.
Nicholas, talk to us. How can we build trust in the police? How can citizens have more trust in the police? What are the things you expect to see to happen so that the trust of citizens can be enhanced in the police?
It's not difficult. So it's about trying to get the right men at the level of recruitment, because it is easier to teach kids than to repair men. Just look at this latest case, on this Betabiamila issue. If you go through Segun Showomi's post, for him, the instant he's angry that there was no institutional outrage. We need to create, Donald Trump's, last 2 days, the Supreme Court went against Donald Trump's
decision.
It shows that the judiciary is independent.
Right.
It shows that the Chief Justice knows his onions, and the executive latitude did not impede
the principle of separation of power.
Exactly.
So that will also help in building trust in the.
If you remember, there was a time when Gowon Ogbada Shagari was to visit Lagos. The Chief Justice of Lagos then was one cooker. And he told Jacondi also, that some Shagari's ministers have cases in his court. So he cannot be seen fraternizing on that table.
Wow.
And just like journalists, according to Jimmy Disu of Nigeria Info, journalists are the conscience of the nation.
Yeah.
So when he goes to the country club in Ikoyi, he does not sit down with the politicians.
Okay, yeah, you are still watching Your Image, and we are discussing state police, the public relations deliverables. For you, Buki, what again are the deliverables? What are your expectations? What do you expect this state police to have to or do?
The greatest deliverable is trust. Confidence.
Trust again.
Yes. If people, have confidence and trust in the state policing program, it will be a successful one. What do I mean by trust? How can the trust be built? If there's an issue that pertaining to that affect the community, the police should not hid it. It should not be hidden. We had the meeting yesterday, the Institute of Public Relations Nigeria. We have our business meeting. Look at your response when he said, "Wow, I was marveled at incident that just happened recently. Look at the way the police switched an action, and between 2-3 days,
that's commending the operation Kosaye.
Yes, Kosaye.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
So if they are moving immediately to an action, if they are responding to an action promptly, that happens, people will believe in them.
Okay.
People will have confidence. People will give them information.
Okay.
Because without the people, this deliverable cannot be
okay. Let's look at technology. How can we leverage technology at the state level? You see how technology has been helping in fighting criminalities all over the world.
When Yabo Anishilo was kidnapped, you could see the police helicopters. For the people in the state, that was when they knew that the police even had helicopters. Abba Kyari was getting the kidnappers. Israel can be in Israel and they capture somebody in Libya. The number 2 man in ISWAP was killed, I think, in Sokoto by the Americans. So technology is vital. I mean, when Kiton was murdered, it didn't take 6 days before the killers were found. But justice is about the greatest happiness for the greatest number, according to Aristotle. So we want they must be funded. Funding is vital.
Yes.
Because the modern policing requires reconnaissance, intelligence, and surveillance. And these things are not just
boots on the ground.
Not just akara and agbado. It's money, it's technology, it's wisdom, it's police colleges functioning with real guys trained from the FBI, the CIA, from Quantico, or maybe from the Mossad. Okay. We have the men who are passionate and patriotic, and at the level of the recruitment, we make sure we take our finest, and not just political riff-raff and cronies.
Okay, yeah, we're in the age of social media. How has social media been helping in fighting insecurity in our society? It's been...
social media has done a lot. We can see in the recent time. Like, let me quickly protest what he said. If we have a state police being financed with equipment, gadgets adequately, without the people trust and confidence, people partnership, they're just patrolling. So the effect of social media has been greatly, explored, and has helped the police or policing in uncovering crimes that happen. How? Because you can see on social media, people have information to pass across at one time or the other, and the information is what the police are relying upon to act. Look at the case of Kitan that was just mentioned. Is the information the police gather that enable them to get the people.
Very quickly, social media has also been helping in disciplining some of the errant officers. What do you have to say to that?
That is why we need power. We need smartphones. We need a good economy so that Nigerians can be able to afford smartphones, have the coverage, voter education, to help some years ago, there was an admiral on a convoy that stripped a girl naked in this country. A Nigerian was capturing it on video, and that was what helped Ganefayemi and co when they went to court. So social media is vital, but it's also about access to data, to airtime, to power, and to smartphones. And the courage to destroy citizen lethargy and docility. All these things revolve around a healthy, diversified economy.
Saying something and saying something too. Citizens need to speak up. Yes. Talk to us about that as we wind down.
Of course, citizens have the right to speak up. Because if you see something, say something. If you see anything around us that we felt is posing a threat, we should just say it and give the police the information so that they can act on for their safety, property, for the safety of their lives and property.
Okay, what about citizens speaking up around the...
Yeah, don't forget that PS in Ibadan, in Naihot, that spoke up, and a deputy director in Lugbe, in Aso Rock. They both lost their lives because of sabotage from the same police. So we also need witness protection for whistleblowers. It's vital. If not, people will go on with their secrets.
Okay, these are issues. We've been discussing state police, public relations deliverables, and I'd like to thank you, Mr. Nicholas Iwuchukwu, for your wonderful contributions.
Thank you for having me here.
Okay, Buki, Akinrinde, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's it on the program for this week. Until next week, when we come your way again with a fresh edition of the program, on behalf of the team, Aki Okudero, Dara Debinkwe, and others, this is yours sincerely, Dari Folari, saying bye for now.